Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA. And so I wanted to follow up on this stock because it's been about a month since I last went over it. Last time I covered it was around December 23rd, so right around the top of this little hill here, and now current price is trading around the bottom of this wedge along this yellow line, closing on the day Monday, January 22nd, at a price of $68.63. And so, yeah, I just wanted to cover this because I think it's at a pretty important level, just being at the bottom of this wedge, and it does look like it has been flirting with breaking below this yellow line and perhaps testing levels to the downside. So, I just wanted to cover that and give my take on whether or not I think it will be going down, and if it will, what are some levels to be looking out for. And so I guess first to start, I just want to point out these two gaps to the upside, one around $93, another around $85. And yeah, so these gaps I had pointed out before. There are a number of other gaps mixed in here, but these just kind of stood out to me as being major ones. Like there is a smaller one down here that would be a gap fill to around $72. But then there's, another one right here to around $74.50. There are just a lot of gaps here in the chart. But these two stand out to me as far as gaps to the upside. There is also one gap to the downside that was formed over here, or at least one notable gap to the downside stands out to me, and that would be going to a price of $65.89, so a little bit lower than current price, having had a low on the day of $66.63, so getting pretty close to filling that gap, but not quite there yet. And then if this were to break this falling wedge pattern, break below this yellow line, levels that I could see it stopping at, I would say this orange and red line here, those are based on historical support that I went over in the last video. If I look at the monthly chart, you can see their origins back in 2015. But you can check out that other video if you'd like to see more details on those levels. And so basically those lines would be the orange one right around at $65. So getting pretty close to that level, but not quite there yet. And then the red line would be right around $58. So those are some levels to keep in mind if price does break lower, if it does fill this gap at right around $66. We will have to see. But one thing that really stands out to me as, I guess, providing some clarity on whether or not this wedge is breaking to the downside is if we look at it on the weekly time frame. I think that clears things up a lot. So basically, last week, closing the week on January 19th, it looks like we got this, red candle over the course of the week, but there was this nice big tail coming down that did wick below that yellow line but closed above, forming what looks like a bullish hammer candle. So that suggests that that yellow line is being respected. And now following today, January 2nd's price action, going up on the day, however, being lower than last Friday's close. We do get this green candle, and we did get a close above the yellow line. And given that this is the weekly candle, what we want to see is the week closing above this yellow line. And so that would be closing the week right around $68. So if we can get a weekly close above $68 on Friday, January 26th, I think that would be really good for the stock and suggesting that the bottom might be in for this wedge and a continuation to the upside to test the top of the wedge around $80 with a potential break to fill these gaps at around $85 and $93. So, that is something we will have to wait and see for. And before I close this video, I do just want to note the RSI, it does look like we are forming lower lows in the stock price, whereas we are forming higher lows in the RSI. And so that would be bullish divergence. So, I have to say, I do not have a position in Alibaba, but if I, were to bet on this, I would bet that this would go up because of this bullish divergence, because it does seem to be respecting the bottom of this line. And yeah, but I think that's really going to depend on the weekly close. If we do get a weekly close at $68 and this RSI is still forming higher lows, that would suggest to me the bottom is in and we're going to be testing the top of the wedge. But, I could be wrong. This is DGen Ed, and those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.